Getting paid semi-monthly can be very unpredictable. Add in being away on vacation the day that you get paid, making changes to your state taxes, and payroll errors. It is giving mystery. Inspector Gadget. Blue's Clues. So, what I'm going to be doing today is an actual versus what I budgeted for this paycheck. Because I was out of town on my payday, I did take the time to sit down and go through what I thought I was going to be getting paid. And of course, it is different. So, for this paycheck, and I am behind on my videos because I was gone. I took a little break when I was away on vacation. So, anywho, my actual, not including the change, for this paycheck was $1,935. I took this dollar amount from my last 12-day paycheck, which is what this was, a 12-day paycheck, and this was the amount. But I didn't take into consideration the amount that I increased for my state taxes to get taken out. I'm trying to not have to owe or get a refund for my state taxes. And then I got an additional payment of $3, which at first I thought was random, and then I went and looked at my pay stub, and one of my checks from last month was off $3. Last month, both of my paychecks were based off of an 11-day paycheck, and yeah, it was off $3. So the actual, I'm adding that in here, I've already closed out last month. So $1,938 for the income. I work from home as a medical billing supervisor. I'm in my 30s, I'm single, child free, and I live with my mom. Going down to my expenses, everything here is going to stay the same except for subscriptions. I canceled my car wash membership and paused my fight camp membership, which brought my monthly subscriptions down to $14. Because I pay most of my bills with my credit card, I just split all of my monthly bills in half, so that's why I had $7 here. But because I still had extra money left over in my subscriptions envelope of $10, I am only going to be doing $4. So I will speed you through this process. So the actual is $759 for my expenses, and that includes my variable expenses. I am probably going to change this. This is a budget sheet that I created. I have it in my description box as a freebie for you guys if you're interested. The semi-monthly budget is just personal to me, so the semi-monthly will not be in. I normally don't do a budget in actual, so I am probably going to change this, update that so that this remaining can be like the total. Anywho, so $759 minus $1938 leaves me with a remaining of $1179. My Roth IRA, I do 5% of the take-home pay. I'm going to round this number down to $95. Car maintenance is going to stay the same at $120. I follow the conscious spending plan by Ramit Sethi, and there is an unexpected category that he actually has you tack on to your total expenses. And since my expenses has gone down just a tad bit, I am going to probably recalculate this starting in the new year. But that's where this number is coming from. And then the rest of the savings is I budget 5% of my take-home pay. However, instead of doing the $95, I am going to be doing a little bit more for vacation. So medical is getting $25. Pet care is going to be getting the $30. I do have an emergency fund that is currently fully funded. Vacation is going to be getting $195 versus the $200. So not too different for the savings. My best friend and I are thinking about doing a friend's trip in a couple of months, and this is going to be going towards the hotel because I have a Capital One Venture card and I do have points that I can use for travel. So I am thinking about using that for my flight if we end up going. So instead of the 475, this will be 465, I believe, because of the $5 differences. But let me, use my calculator just in case. Yes, $465. So 465 minus 1179 leaves me with 714. All right, going up to my guilt-free spending, blessings always gets 10% of the take-home pay. And this is for me to give to people who are in need. So I am going to, I'm going to do 194. I try to keep my numbers ending in 5 or 0, but I'm going to do 194. My family savings always gets $50 a paycheck. Annual is going to stay with 22. I'm going to do $75 for personal instead of the $5. Birthday is going to get 20, and this is for my birthday. Gifts, I'm going to do 25. I actually have one more birthday, actually two, for December, and then will be good for the year. I'm gonna try to figure out a better way to do my gifts next year so that each paycheck I'm taking out the same amount and it'll cover all the birthdays for the year. Date night, I'm gonna stick with 5, and I'm gonna stick with the 5 for self-care. So $396 minus 714 leaves me with 318, which is perfect because that is going to be the amount that I am going to put towards my debt. And because I had $103 to put towards blessings after I close out the October budget, I am okay with not putting an additional money into blessings. So if I did this correctly, we should have a true zero-based budget, meaning that every dollar has a job. And you guys can check out my budget with me playlist as I feel like I go into a little bit more detail on my process in some of my other videos, because I already did my budget and this is really just an actual versus what I budgeted. It's not as detailed as normal. So let's see if every dollar got an assignment. Oh, I put 1935 instead of 1938. Y'all know I can't get through these videos without messing up, but that wouldn't be me, right? There you go. Yeah, this channel over here, I do not strive for perfection, okay? I like going through the whole process, my thought process, and mistakes happen, right? So this is the budget for the first paycheck of November. And now I will go ahead and cash the first paycheck of November. I usually start in the order of how I budget with my expenses, but I'm going to switch it up and start with my guilt-free binder. Shout out to Cash Bear Mama who told me to put a clip on this envelope to keep the bookmark. I try to shout people out whenever, they give me tips, especially when I ask a question. So anyway, blessings is going to get its... Oh, I was so confused. I'm like, why do I have this money? But this is the 103 from the rollover money. Okay. And then this money I still need to unstuff. Oh child, I need to catch up ASAP. Anywho, 194 for blessings. And not counting this $50 that I used for my giveaway, I have 150, 200, 250, 270, 290, 291, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, $297. And I've actually already gave that $103. So that's also why I'm so confused. Personal gets 75. And you know what? I want to use this Your Glow Up that I got as a freebie from Boss Woman Budgets, Chrissy over there at Miss Newlywed here on YouTube. I am just going to use this pen. And so 25, 50, and 75. I was using this for my self-care, but decided to use it for personal instead. Just a little tracker or something to use. Oh, did I count this? So we have 150, 220, 225 in personal. I did not update my trackers yet, so hopefully my count is correct. I'm pretty sure y'all will let me know in the comments, or I will see it in the editing process. Birthday, it's 20. This tracker is from Budgeting on a Budget, and each birthday cake is worth $20. I had the total down here, but I was using the wrong marker and it kept smudging, so this is going to save me $400, and I had $100 in here. I think it was a rollover from last year, so I'm going to save a total of $500. And there is 100, 200, 250, 270, $280. Next up is gifts, getting 25. It now has 50, 100, 150, 200, 220, 240, 245, 250. Family time is actually getting skipped. It has $100 in there. Date night gets 5, so there is 155. And self-care is getting 5. For 100, 200, 220, 240, 245. All right. I think I'm gonna actually move into my savings binder now. This dashboard is also from Chrissy at Boss Woman Budgets, and these binders are from Taylor Budgets. I am like itching to get some new binders and things for my setup, but because of the move that we are currently in the process of doing, I obviously need to wait, hold my horses until that time comes. So let me move this over some. Make sure it's still in frame. This $2,000 savings challenge tracker is from Simply Touched over at Etsy. I have a $500 savings challenge and a $1,000 savings challenge, and I laminated it with matte laminate so that I can reuse it. All right, so car maintenance is getting $120. So now I have 1,000, 2,000, 120, 40, $2,050. I do have my oil change scheduled for first thing in the morning in a couple of weeks. Y'all, I am practicing my no because I already know they gonna find something to try to charge me extra. And I'm like, nope, I'm just coming in for my oil change. I am going to the dealership, continuing to go to the dealership for my oil changes, especially with the whole recall fiasco. that I went through. Because I had been going there, it was easier for them to, see that I was up to date on all of my oil changes and such. So I will continue to go there. Y'all can try to, do some extra work, but I am going to be taking that extra work elsewhere where I know they will not charge me an arm and a leg. Christmas is fully funded at $500, and I will start saving towards this next year. Emergency is fully funded at $7,000. I do want to slowly start adding towards this, so I will probably do that in the new year as well. Home maintenance. This is where my debt payment is going because it is for the flooring and carpet installation we had done at the house to get it ready to sell. So that is $318. 1, 2, 310, 15, 16, 17, 18, 318. And I will actually include the screenshots this go round. Medical is getting, now I'm about to take out the insert. It is getting $25. So it now has 1,500, 600, 700, 800, 820, 830, 835, 840, 41, 42, 43, $1,844. And I do have a health savings account that I max out every year, but I am investing all of the money that I'm putting in there, which is why I have this medical envelope. Pet care is getting, what did I say, $30? Get your cheat sheet, girl. Okay, so $30 for pet care. And it has 50, 70, 80, 90. You guys, when we move in with my grandparents, they have a German Shepherd who is still very much so a puppy. So I am very interested in how our cat Peaches is going to acclimate to her. Future, which is my Roth IRA, is getting 95. So it now has 500, 600, 700, 800, 900, 950. Oh, let me get my calculator. So that was 950. My brain said, no, you're not. Don't even try it. So 950 plus 20, 40, 60, 75. $1,025 in my Roth IRA, which is through Fidelity. And also I want to give a shout out to Dee over at It's D. She is using my placeholders, which is also in my description box if you're interested. Another freebie for you guys. I did like that she printed hers out on like clear laminate. And if I change out my envelopes and stuff, I'm thinking of doing that moving forward with my placeholders as well. All right. Going into the family binder. And this dashboard is also from Simply Touched, Just a Girl Building Generational Wealth. I always put this on the top of my binder, and I'm going to move my candle over here just for a second, because if I don't, it slides around all over the place, and I don't like the noise it makes. So Kai, my nephew that I live with, is getting $15. He has 100, 150, 160, 170, 175, 180. Coda, which is my other nephew, is also getting 15. So he should have the same 100, 150, 160, 170, 175, 180. My niece Coco is getting $10. So she now has 120. My big sis is getting $5. So she has $60. And these envelopes are from Jasmine's wallet. I love the quality and I really wanted to get the ones with the tab. They are so sturdy, y'all. So if you're interested, just know that it takes her a while. I don't know, when I purchased, it took me a while to get the item. So just keep that in mind. But she does have it listed out. Like, I knew that I was going to be waiting. So my mom also gets $5 and she has $60 as well. All right, so now I'm going to go into the expenses finder. And rent gets $350. My portion of the internet gets $46. So I don't know if you guys saw in my last video that my grandparents are now under contract. They had somebody put in an offer. They are under contract. They had the inspection done, and we're just, waiting to hear back. Cell phone is getting $40. I did put when I edited the video, I did put it in the video, but I know that some people just listen and don't watch, which is perfectly fine. Car insurance is getting $79. So 50, 70, 75, 76, 77, 78, and 79 for car insurance. The sun is peeking in and out of the clouds, as y'all can see. Life insurance gets $17. The weather has been really nice here in Arizona. We've been having a really rainy week, and I think it's going to be raining later today and tomorrow. The high has been 60 degrees, which is such a relief for us when the summers are 120-ish, it gets up there. Subscriptions gets that $4. So 10, 11, 12, 13, and 14 for subscriptions. I do have a tab divider in this envelope because I put the YouTube TV money here as well. So 21, 2, 3, and this is my half. Y'all, if any of you guys have YouTube TV, did y'all see that? I mean, obviously y'all have, but the Disney Plus and YouTube, they were fighting. The girls are fighting. Gas gets $25. Apparently they came to an agreement, and Disney and ABC are back on YouTube. Groceries gets $150. I'm very curious though to know who won the fight because we all know what happened with Disney, right? And apparently they increased their subscription membership or whatever after all that went down. Household gets $15. So I am curious to know who really won and who had to fold. I'm assuming YouTube won. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. So household now has 20, 30, 40, 45, 50, 51. So with these last two envelopes, I do treat these as sinking funds. So whatever I don't use, it gets rolled over. Pets is getting $10. It has 10, 20, 25, 26, 27. This is one of the envelopes that I will definitely change because when I started this journey, I had 3 pets, 2 dogs and a cat, and now both of the dogs have since passed and we just have the cat. So I might just have the envelope be peaches. All right, so that is going to be it for my expenses. Just kidding, you guys. I was like, why do I have so much money here? So for groceries, I did not do that like that. I did 2 5s, a 20, 2 10, yeah, a 5, and 5 1s. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so now this makes a bit more sense. So 50, 100, 120, 130, 140, 145, 146, 147, 148, 149, 150. Let's do the annual binder. I just want to show y'all what I have to do with this binder. So I do have this binder listed in the description box, but just know that this is so tight that you gotta force it to stay open. All right, so Capital One, I do have it where each paycheck it gets $4, but because I have fully funded this Flow app that was getting $2, I'm taking the $2 that I would normally budget for this, which I don't know if I'm going to renew this. I'm trying to get away from subscriptions on my phone because I just had somebody in Paris try to get access to my Apple ID. So I'm trying to get rid of all the descriptions, including the iCloud. So I'm gonna have to go through my pictures earlier than I wanted to and try to get those off my phone. But anywho, so instead of Capital One getting $4, it is going to get $6 in twos. 2, 4, 6. So now it has 50, 60, 62, 64, 66, 68, 70, 72, and 74. And this tracker I did create myself for my own personal use. And I'm gonna do half of this one. Hopefully I remember and not confuse myself by doing it. All right, next up is my car registration. It gets $5 each paycheck. So there's now 50, 70, 80, 85. YouTube Premium is getting $6, and this one, this is something that I am saving up for. I don't have it yet. Once I save up the money, then I'll go ahead and get it because they don't have where it renews annually. And I did have it, but it was through our Verizon plan. It was a family plan, but it was just getting too expensive. So I decided to get rid of it and just save up for my own personal one. It now has 100, 102, 104, 106, and $108. And the last one is AAA, and this one gets $5 as well. So we have $60 for AAA. And the last will be the vacation binder. Any plans for Thanksgiving by the time this goes up? I'm trying to stick to one video a week. So the next time I see y'all, it will be past. So I hope you guys have a safe and nice Thanksgiving holiday. So hotels is getting the 100, 150, 170, 190, 195. We're gonna have ribs for Thanksgiving, y'all, and put some sides together and drink and be merry. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for being here, for supporting me. Shout out to my new subscribers. Hey, y'all, hey. And thank you so much for everyone who returns to me. I appreciate you guys for always finding me. If you have any questions, any feedback, or suggestions, please feel free to leave those in the comments. I will respond to you guys. As always, I am rooting for you. Take care of yourselves because you are your first priority. All right. And I will see you in the next one. Peace.